You work 9 to 5 every single day except the weekends, of course. But then, as soon as you come back home from work, you literally have no time to do anything because it's already night. You have to prepare dinner, then you make dinner. Now it's time to go to bed. You literally didn't have any time to do nothing all day long. Now, this is how a lot of people feel. They have to do something. It could be a full-time job. It could be maybe you have to study for university. Maybe you go to the school. But as soon as you finish the tasks that you must do, that you are obligated to do, like going to a job, for example, as soon as you finish them, it's already night. You already don't have any time for yourself. But imagine how good it would feel if you could unlock 6 extra hours of time every single day. Now you would feel fucking rich, bro. I'm not talking about becoming rich, like making more money. I'm saying making, like, becoming rich in time, so that now you literally have so much time. You see all of your peers, they work their 9 to 5s, then they come back home and they don't have any time to do nothing. They don't have time to have fun. They don't have time to work on their dreams and maybe change career, change job. And they don't have time to spend time on their hobbies and passions. But literally, in this video, I'm going to tell you how to unlock 6 extra hours. And I know this sounds very clickbait and it sounds like almost impossible, but you will see what I mean. Like, you will see how this is rationally very true. Like, as soon as I'm going to start talking about this thing, you will realize, damn, fuck, this guy is right. This guy knows what he is talking about. So I actually created a presentation, a PowerPoint. So yeah, as you can clearly see, the productivity flow. So the productivity flow is the technique that is going to make you able to have 6 extra hours every single day. Now, let's start. 16 hours a day, right? You have 24 hours, but then you reduce, like, you take 8 hours away from that because you gotta sleep, right? A lot of people are actually sleep deprived because they have to work a full-time job, then they have to work like on the house to keep it clean and everything. So some of them are even sleep deprived because then when they come back home, they want to waste time because they say, okay, I've been working all day long. Now at least I want to have some fun. And so now it's night, and instead of going to bed, since they need to go to bed, like, you need to have a good sleep quality and a sleep schedule if you want to live a great life, of course. But instead of doing it, you think it's better to scroll on social media or spend time watching Netflix or all this kind of stuff. And so you end up being sleep deprived. And that is because you don't find time for yourself. But don't worry, this will never happen again because we will find a way to find more time for yourself. So you will be able to sleep 8 hours every single day. I'm not telling you, like, this video is not about, oh, sleep 4 hours and wake up at 5 a.m. and all of the self-improvement bullshit. This is not about that. This is actual serious advice that actually works. So you have 16 hours during a day, right? You can do all the work that you want during those 16 hours. Now let's take 8 hours away from these 16 hours. So now, because 8 hours is like the 9 to 5 job, right? 9 to 5 means you are working 8 hours every single day on your job. That's a full-time job. So let's reduce this by 8 hours. Now you have 8 hours left. Now you have to eat, okay? So let's say most people actually spend a lot of time eating. Maybe when they have lunch, they end up speaking with the people that they are having lunch with. They end up like they're watching a Netflix series whilst they're eating and all of this stuff. And they end up eating lunch in like they spend one entire hour just to eat lunch, then another hour just to eat dinner. And then you wonder why you don't have time for yourself. But if you were a little bit faster at doing all of these tasks that actually require very small amounts of time, but you end up wasting too much time doing this stuff. So instead of eating in 1 hour, do it in 20 minutes. Instead of taking a shower and spending 20 minutes under the water when you're taking a shower, literally you don't need more than 5 minutes to take a shower. Then you can do your skincare routine and everything. You can prepare yourself, take the clothes, put the clothes on and everything. You can prepare yourself to go to work literally in 20 minutes. You don't need more than 20 minutes. So you have 20 minutes to prepare yourself for work. Then you eat breakfast in let's say you prepare breakfast and then you have to eat it. So it takes 20 minutes to do that. Then you spend another 20 minutes to have lunch, another 20 minutes to have dinner. And let's say you also spend 20 minutes and 20 minutes to prepare lunch and to prepare dinner. So now you've already spent 2 hours. So now instead of having 8 extra hours, you only have 6 extra hours, right? So now maybe you have to take care of the house as well, right? So maybe you have to you have to clean the house and everything. So it's gonna take 5 hours. Sorry, it's gonna take another hour. So now you still have 5 hours left. Where did those 5 hours go? Now I actually wrote 6 hours because when I wrote this, when I created this video on YouTube and when I created this PowerPoint, I didn't think that you also have I didn't think that you also have to spend 20 minutes to make dinner, then another 20 minutes to make lunch and 10 minutes to make breakfast. So yeah, you also have to make food, which is gonna take you a little bit of time unless you are living with a roommate. So if you are living with a roommate, then maybe half of the days you are going to make food and half of the days he is going to make food. So then at this point, instead of being 1 hour, it's going to be 30 minutes. So now instead of having 5 extra hours, you actually have 5.5 extra hours. So where did those 5 or 5.5 extra hours go? Because you said you come back home, right? You come back home and you say you don't have any time for yourself now that you came back home from your work. But we just made the calculus, right? You have 24 hours, subtract 8 hours of sleep, subtract 8 hours of working a job, subtract 2 or 3 hours to prepare yourself, have eat, prepare food, and clean the house and all of this kind of stuff. So you still have 5 hours, right? On the calculator, you still have 5 hours left. Where the fuck did those 5 hours go? You say you come back home and you don't have any time for yourself. Where did those 5 hours go? So maybe you do have time for yourself. You're just not productive enough to find this time for yourself. I do believe you, bro. I have been in the same situation, bro. Maybe not with work, but with school and everything. I go to school, then I come back home, I start studying, then I finish studying. Now it's it's very late. Okay, I have to have dinner. Then now I have to I don't have any more time for myself because now after dinner I go back to sleep, right? But bro, I'm telling you, you do have this time. You don't realize where you are wasting this time because literally we said you do have this time, but still I do believe you, bro, that once you get back home and you finish working and you finish your daily tasks of the day, you don't have any free time for yourself. I completely believe you on this. Now we're gonna see where you are actually wasting all of those hours. Because maybe when you get back home, now you feel like you have 30 minutes for yourself, maybe an hour, but maybe you don't even have 30 minutes. Maybe you just go to bed as soon as you come back home. So we're gonna see where you are actually wasting those 5 hours. Now, if we understand where you are wasting those 5 hours and we make sure this doesn't happen anymore, so you stop wasting those 5 hours, you will literally unlock 5 hours 5 extra hours. Does this make sense? Am I bullshitting you? Like, does this make rationally sense? That if you realize where you are wasting those 5 hours, you will unlock 5 extra hours. Okay. So next, you are wasting time in between activities. You don't even realize this, bro. You are wasting so much time just in between activities. Because if you really don't find a way, like you don't realize where you are wasting the time. But we said you are spending 8 hours on work, 1 hour on this, 1 hour on that, 1 hour, blah, 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 blah. And then we saw that you still have 5 hours. Where did those 5 hours go? If you didn't waste those 5 hours during the activities, because a lot of people, we already said, they do actually end up wasting time during the activities, like people who end up eating and spending like an hour to eat everything when they could eat everything in just 20 minutes. They spend 20 minutes to take a shower when it could take just 5 minutes. They spend 30 minutes to prepare themselves to like brush your teeth, decide what you're gonna wear to go to work, then do this, do that, and then they end up wasting 30 minutes when they could do everything in like 10, 15 minutes. So if you do waste time during activities, then this could be the reason why you don't have 5 hours left. But still, a lot of people, if you already done this step, so now you're not wasting time when you are doing the activities, you're not wasting time when you are eating, you're not wasting time when you're taking a shower, when you're preparing yourself, when you are working, you don't waste time when you're doing the activity, then, and you still come back home and you feel like maybe now you have unlocked like 2 extra hours, but they're not 5, they're only 2. Then where are you wasting those other hours? Well, if you're not wasting them during the activities, of course, you're wasting them in between activities. Like, there's not another answer. Think about it. If you are not wasting time during activities, you are wasting time in between activities. Like, is there another explanation? No, bro. You already know. So now if we do find a way to stop wasting time during activities, you will finally have 5 extra hours. Do you understand me? Does this make sense? If you are wasting those 5 hours in between activities, and we make sure you stop ever wasting time in between activities ever again, you will unlock 5 extra hours, right? This is rational. Okay, so now, what is the way? Well, the way is through the so-called productivity flow. Now, I say so-called, but it's actually something, it's a strategy that I've invented myself, that I am actually surprised that there aren't many people actually talking about this stuff. But just like the other day, I was watching this video of a guy that is like, he's called like Penguin or something like that. But I usually don't watch like streamers, Twitchers, or things like that, especially not this guy. But I've specifically watched that video because the title was like, how, like the 9 to 5 job trap, something like that. And he was talking about this girl who never has time for herself because like this girl is recording a video of herself where she's saying to the camera whilst she's crying that that basically once she finishes her job, she doesn't have any time for herself. She wants to take a shower, to maybe work a little, have some free time a little bit, go out with friends. She want to actually enjoy and live life, but she doesn't even find the time to take a bath. And people in the comments of this video were saying, oh, why are you crying for this? This is just normal life. And this is a bullshit mindset, because there's something bad happening, just because you are living a bad life, because you are living a 9 to 5, you shouldn't tell this girl that she's stupid for like crying in front of a camera because she is working all day long, because you're doing the same thing. And just because you're not crying and she is crying doesn't mean that the problem doesn't exist. The problem is there. So, but people were criticizing her, and this Pinguinos basically said, no, there's no point in criticizing her, because it is true. It's very bad that you have to work these 9 to 5 jobs and you have to be in the 9 to 5 traps. And then I'm like, I don't agree with neither of you, because I simply don't think 9 to 5 is such a trap. Because even though you can work a 9 to 5, most people work a 9 to 5, you can still find a lot of time, even if you are working a full-time job. You can find so much time for yourself. Just gotta make time for yourself. But it is possible. It's all about how either if you enter or if you don't enter the so-called productive flow, which is what I'm going to talk about in this video. So basically, a productivity flow or productive flow, or whatever you want to call it, it's a flow, right? You notice how on the first image of this PowerPoint, I've actually chose an image of a sea, right? This is a sea. So a sea, because a sea is always flowing. We're talking about a productivity flow. Now it's a flow because it doesn't have any interruptions. You never have an interruption, because as soon as you finish doing an activity, you already are starting the next one. You are not, it's not something that has a lot of interruptions, okay? It's a flow. It's a flow of productivity. So you see, you will not have any interruptions. As soon as you finish an activity, you're starting the next one. This is what a productivity flow is about. And of course, if as soon as you finish an activity, you're starting the next one, then you will not waste time in between activities, of course. So now, how do you make sure that you enter a productive flow, and how do you make sure, especially this is even more important, how do you make sure you never get out of a productivity flow? So firstly, you want to make sure that you avoid active and passive procrastination. Now, I haven't said procrastination as a whole, but I said active and passive procrastination. I'm tired of people talking about procrastination like as if all types of procrastination were the same. No, there are two different types of procrastination. One is the active procrastination and one is the passive procrastination. Now, the active procrastination is when you are wasting time on an activity that you know it's going to waste you time. So, for example, you are wasting time because you have like this addiction, and so you waste time like watching TV series, and you do that all day long. Maybe you don't even have a full-time job, but you still can't find time for yourself to work on your business and all of this stuff, and you constantly feel like you're running out of time, you don't have enough time. You do have enough time, you're just wasting too much time with active procrastination. You know these activities are gonna make you waste a lot of time, but you still do them. A lot of people waste time on Instagram, on social media, on all these bullshit tasks, and they think they're not such a big deal. Like playing video games for 1 hour a day is not such a big deal, but if you add up 1 hour of playing video games, 1 hour of watching anime, 1 hour of watching YouTube videos, then of course you now already wasted 3 hours. So now it's not only 1 hour, is it? It's actually 3 hours. But for most people that they work a 9 to 5 job, they don't actually have the time to play a video game for 1 hour, to watch anime for 1 hour, and that's because they come back home and they don't find any time for themselves. So in this case, the problem is not active procrastination, it's actually passive procrastination. They don't do activities that they know are wasting them time. Like people that work 9 to 5 jobs, they don't do activities of active procrastination where they do this activity and they know it's bad for them and they know it's gonna make them waste time, but they do that anyway because they don't even have the time to do active procrastination, right? But they do a lot, like I'm telling you, a lot of passive procrastination. The passive procrastination is the complete opposite of the active procrastination. Because if on the active procrastination you are doing an activity and you know you're doing this activity and you know you're wasting time, but you're doing it anyway, on the passive procrastination, you don't realize that you are doing this activity. You don't realize how much time you're wasting. You don't realize that you are procrastinating. Passive procrastination is when you are procrastinating without even realizing that you are procrastinating. An example is when you get a notification from your phone and you click on that notification thinking that you're just gonna look at the notification, and then 10 seconds after you've already closed your phone and you're back at doing what you wanted to do. But instead, you click on that notification, you start looking at the message, like let's say it's a WhatsApp notification. You start answering messages, then you see another guy also sent you another message, so you answer that message again. Then the guy before actually answered already your message, so now you answer him back. Now you've just wasted 15 minutes on WhatsApp. And you might think 15 minutes are not such a big deal. But again, you have 15 minutes on WhatsApp, then you get another notification and it's like a YouTube video. You click on the video and it's like a short video, so you say, oh, fuck it, who cares? I'm just gonna waste like 10 seconds watching this YouTube short. Maybe it's not even gonna be good, so I might even get out and not watch it all the way through. So yeah, it's not really gonna be a big waste of time. You watch the first YouTube short, then you watch the second one. You make the biggest mistake of your life, which is this very single movement. You start scrolling. Now, scrolling is the biggest act of passive procrastination. Maybe you get a notification from Instagram and you say, oh, and my best friend just posted a new post on his Instagram account. So let's watch this post. So or this story. So you watch the story, and then you end up scrolling either through Instagram Reels or just Instagram's posts, or even you watch all of the stories of your friends, and you end up wasting like 30 minutes there without even realizing. So you are wasting so much time just by scrolling, whether it's on Instagram, on WhatsApp, even on WhatsApp, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook. You are wasting so much time without even realizing, just scrolling. You don't realize how much time people waste on their phones. Now, if you go look at online research, there are actually a lot of research that tell you that most teenagers actually spend 8 hours every single day of screen time, and that's only on their phone. Now think about how much time they also waste on the computer, on the TV, and everywhere else. Now, if you are an adult, instead of 8 hours every single day, it's less than that. It's like 3 or 4 hours every single day, but it's still very high, bro. 4 fucking hours every single day. This is so fucking high. So scrolling, it is a very big problem. You might not realize it. You might think you are one of those people, maybe because you know, like when you tell your mom, when like your mom tells you when you're young, like you're playing video games or you're just spending time on your phone, and your mom tells you, oh, you shouldn't waste all of that time on your phone and all of this stuff, right? But then she doesn't even realize it, that she is also wasting like 4 hours on her phone without even realizing it. She might think she isn't wasting that much time, but she is. Maybe it's not even through scrolling. Maybe it's even only like WhatsApp. Maybe she has to do a research on Chrome, but she ends up like doing useless research that it's not even important. Like you end up wasting so much time on these technologies without even realizing. Now you will finally realize how much time you're actually wasting only when you download a screen time saver. So basically, you go on the Play Store, take your phone, go on the Play Store, and search for screen time. You're gonna see a bunch of different apps. Just download one of them. Once you download a screen time app, this screen time app will see how much time you spend on looking at the screen every single day, and you will be shocked at how much time you're actually wasting. Now, when I started dopamine detox, so dopamine detox is basically when you decide to stop wasting time on these bullshit instant gratification activities. When I started dopamine detox, I thought that I was wasting 4 hours of time every single day on my devices. And so I wanted to stop wasting that much time. And so I downloaded this screen time thinking that the results were gonna be like 4 hours of wasted every single day. I downloaded the screen time, and what I found out was ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. I've actually found out that I usually waste, like this was when I started dopamine detox, but I used to waste 8 hours on my phone, so double the amount of what I thought it was. And this was only on my phone. Then I would also waste time on my PC. So, and those hours on the PC would be like probably another like 4 to 6 hours. I was wasting so much time without even realizing. I'm not bullshitting you, bro. I was probably like wasting 14 hours every single day. I would literally wake up, play Minecraft, watch YouTube videos, and go to bed. This was what I was doing, bro. So if you're now in the mindset of, oh yeah, I don't actually wasted all that time on on my phone, firstly download this screen time. Then you will see how much time you are actually wasting on your phone. If you don't do this activity and you then go on the comments and say, oh, this video didn't work, of course, because you're not fucking taking the actions. I told you, go and download this app. Go right now, download the app, and only once you've downloaded it, get back to this video. Don't continue this video if you haven't done this actionable step first. Now, how do you make sure that you avoid passive procrastination? Because passive procrastination, it's, as I said, it's when you, for example, waste time scrolling, or you see a notification and you end up looking at WhatsApp messages for like half an hour. But it's also when, for example, you come back from university, let's say, okay, now you finished your lessons, you have lunch, and now you're tired. You know that the next thing you need to do is, for example, study this subject. But instead of studying this subject, once you finish lunch, you actually stay there and take like a 30 minutes nap because you're tired. Maybe you don't take a nap, but you're just very tired, so you end up spending 1 hour eating because you don't want to start the next activity instead of 20 minutes. Or if you spend 20 minutes eating, then you like sit on the sofa for half an hour looking at the notifications because like you don't want to start the next activity. Now, when you do daily scheduling, you will make sure, which is like the way that you enter a productive flow is through daily scheduling, you will actually avoid passive procrastination forever. And I know daily scheduling sounds very familiar because when you think about daily scheduling, you usually think, oh, it's just about writing down the tasks of the next day. And yeah, it is quite about that. So most people now are looking at me crazy and they're saying, but bro, I'm already daily scheduling every single day. This is not gonna change anything. Bro, I'm telling you, you don't actually do daily scheduling like the way that I'm gonna tell you to do. So firstly, most people that say, oh, I always do daily scheduling, they actually do it like twice a week. They don't do it every single day before going to bed. And I actually do it every single day before going to bed. Every single day before going to bed, I spend like 10 to 15 minutes just writing down all of the things that I'm gonna do tomorrow. Then another thing that most people do, if you do actually do daily scheduling, so if this is not the first time that you watch a productivity video, you are probably already doing daily scheduling, maybe not every single day, but you're already doing it. You're probably doing it wrong, because most people, when they do daily scheduling, they just write down the things that they're gonna do tomorrow. Instead, what I want you to do is to go 2 steps above that, not 1 but 2 steps above that. So the first step above that is you don't only write down the things that you're going to do, but you also write down the timings. So for example, you write down from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'm gonna do this. From 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'll do this. From 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. I'll do this. Every single time you write down the exact time when you're gonna start that activity and the exact time when you're gonna finish doing that activity. And as soon as you finish that activity, you start the next one, without doing any passive procrastination, without wasting any time in between activities. Then the second step above that is that you don't only write down the exact minute when you're starting and the exact minute when you're ending that activity, but you also write down the exact amount of things that you're gonna do during that specific time. So for example, instead of only writing down from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. read this book, instead write down the exact number of pages that you are going to read in this book, so that you make sure that once you are reading this book, you're not like losing focus and wasting time. You're actually trying to read because you're trying to get to that point, like get to read that amount of pages that you said you were going to read. So for example, instead of just writing down on your daily schedule, tomorrow read, you write down tomorrow from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. read, and you don't only write down that, you actually write down tomorrow from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. read 30 pages, for example. Now, if you do daily scheduling like this, now you're doing daily scheduling correctly. Now, why does daily organization or daily scheduling work so well for avoiding passive procrastination? It's very simple. When you finish an activity, you open your phone, and by the way, what I usually do is that I literally, like, my phone, the image that I have on my phone as soon as I open my phone, so like the screen lock image that I have on my phone, it's literally my daily organization. So every single day before going to bed, I write down on my phone, like on the Samsung Notes, because I have a Samsung, and I write down on Samsung Notes all of the things that I'm gonna do with like the daily organization, so the timings and everything I've just talked about. I write it down on Samsung Notes, then I take a screenshot of that and I set it as my screen lock phone. Then the day after that, as soon as the day is over, I do this all over again and I do another screenshot and I set it as my phone lock image. And I do this every single time with every single day, okay? And every single daily schedule. So now, as soon as you finish this activity, so for example, let's say now it's 6 p.m. and let's say it's, because it's 9 to 5, right? So now it's 5 p.m. Now you come back home from your job, and now you came back home, it's like 6 p.m. Okay, so now you will not waste time. You will not sit on the sofa because you've worked for 8 hours and now you're tired. No, you already start the next activity. So if you wrote down on your daily schedule at 6 p.m. exactly go and do a workout, at 6 p.m. you're going to go and do a workout. You will not waste any time. And by the way, you don't waste time firstly filling up your backpack, filling up the water bottle, and then like go to the gym and then starting to work out. No, you start to work out as soon as 6 p.m. comes. So before you even go to bed, not only you want to do the daily organization, but literally you should have already prepared the bag for tomorrow to go to the gym. Should have already filled up the water bottle. You want to do all of this so that you make sure that as soon as you come back home from work, you already have your backpack right there in front of you. You just need to take the backpack. You don't even need to take your shoes off, and you literally go to the gym as soon as you have came back home there. Or maybe you don't even come back home. You literally take your backpack with you when you're going to work, and then as soon as you come back home, you don't even come back home, you literally go to the gym as soon as you finish working your 9 to 5. And then as soon as you come back home from the gym, now you finish this activity, you take your phone, you open your phone, and you see that on your screen lock image you have, now let's say it's like 8 p.m. because you finished working out. Now you see at 8 p.m. you have take a shower, and on take a shower there's also written that at 8:05 p.m. you actually have another activity to do. So now you gotta take the shower and do that in only 5 minutes, so that now you can stick to your routine and start the next activity right away. So then the next activity might be cook dinner. So now you cook dinner. Now it's like 8:30. You look at your phone, eat dinner. Okay, now it's 8:50. Look at your phone. You usually don't go to bed at 8:50. Maybe you go to bed at like 11 p.m. So now you might think, oh, dinner, I finished dinner. This is what a lot of people think actually. They think, oh, I finished eating dinner, so now the day is over. No, it's not fucking over, bro. It's 8:50 p.m. You're gonna go to bed at 11 p.m. most likely. So you still have 2 hours and 10 minutes left. So you can do whatever. Now you have 2 hours. You can literally go out with friends for 2 hours. Like 2 hours are actually a good amount of time. Now, let's say it's 11 a.m. Okay, so we usually say that you should sleep for like 8 hours every single day. So if it's 11 a.m. now you go to bed, you go to right away to bed. You don't need to waste time. Like, okay, you gotta brush your teeth, fine, it's gonna take like 2 minutes. Okay, now you go to bed. So you finish the activity, you go right away to bed. You don't say, oh, I finished my activities, let me just check my phone, then I'm gonna go to bed. No, go to bed right away, bro. Okay, yeah, I am, but I want to see my phone because I'm tired, I worked all day. Oh, I'm not gonna go to bed right now. Then no wonder why you're fucking sleep deprived, bro. If you wanna find time to sleep 8 hours every single day, you can do that. Just stop wasting fucking time, bro. Go to bed right away. Now you wake up at 7 a.m. Your job starts at 9 a.m. So if it takes you even an entire hour to go to your job, you're gonna go to your job when it's 8 a.m. It doesn't take you 1 fucking hour to prepare yourself, bro. It doesn't. So now you just, you wake up, it's 7 a.m., okay? You literally can prepare yourself in like 15 minutes, okay? Now you can maybe clean the house for the other 40 minutes. Because you also gotta eat breakfast. But like, you eat breakfast, you prepare breakfast, you have all of the time, right? You don't need, like, it doesn't take 1 entire hour to do all of this, right? So then now it's 8 a.m. You've done another solid like half an hour of work. I say half an hour because maybe you spend, like, as I said, 15 minutes to prepare yourself, then like 15 minutes to do breakfast, and now you still have 30 minutes left. So now you can do 30 minutes of work. Maybe you can work on a side hustle during those 30 minutes, bro. I'm just saying, then you go to work at like 8 p.m. Now, from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., firstly, why have you chosen a job that is 1 hour away from where you live? Why haven't you chosen a job that is nearer your house? Or even better, why didn't you choose to go live in, like, take an apartment that is 5 minutes, that it takes you just like 5 minutes to go to work if you live in this apartment, which is very close to the place where you work? Why haven't you done this decision? Well, let's say, okay, you haven't done this decision. Well, still, during that entire hour, you can listen to a podcast. Now, maybe you don't even need, like, you now spend 1 hour listening to podcasts when you go to work, and one another hour when you go back from home. You don't need to, like, listen to music or all of that stuff. You actually listen to a podcast. Now, if it takes you 1 hour to go back home and 1 hour to go to work, now, like, I understand you now don't have 5 extra hours, you only have 3 extra hours. So 3 extra hours are not that much. Even though you still have time during 3 extra hours, like, you still can do things. You can go out with your friends for 3 hours. You can, of course, you're not gonna go out with friends every single day, even though you could do that. So during, like you could go out with your friends twice a week, and the other 5 days, maybe you go to the gym for 1 hour and a half, and the other hour and a half, you maybe work, like you do something. For example, you enjoy one of your hobbies, or you enjoy one of your passions. For example, you really like drawing, let's say. You can draw 1 hour and a half for like 5 days a week and still have time to go out with your friends the other 2 days. And of course, then you're gonna have weekends, and on weekends you're gonna have all of the time that you want. So you can even start a side hustle during the weekend. Like, you can find time for yourself. This entire video, I know it's been a very long video, but this entire video, it has been all about the fact that if you keep complaining about the fact that you don't have enough time during the day, you will not ever find the time to do anything. But instead, if you really want to do something but you don't find the time to do it, make solutions to make sure that you do have that time. Stop wasting time scrolling. Stop using your phone 4 hours every single day. Take a shower faster. Eat faster. Prepare everything before the next day. Do a daily scheduling every single day. Get an apartment which is nearer to your to the place where you work, or work at a place that is nearer to the place where you live. You can find so many solutions. You just gotta think about them. The only thing I want you to understand, like, if there is only one thing I want you to take from this very long video, is that if you don't have enough time for yourself, it's not because of the 9 to 5 job,